It was a bright sunny day in the National Yellowstone Park. Under a mulberry leaf class was taking place. Mr. Frogger's class consisted of 4 students. Dora the bee, who is playful but sensitive, Francesca the ladybug, who is always concerned about everyone, Betty the butterfly, who is shy but likes to say what's on her mind, and Marwin the spider. Marwin is the only boy in class and also the only one who is very mischievous and adventurous. In Mr. Farr's class, the students were learning about nature and the fascinating life of living in such a park. Today's main focus, though, was what parts of the park the students need to stay away from. Mr. Frogger started out by asking the students questions. Francesca the ladybug was the first to raise her hand and answer.
What side of the park has the prettiest flowers?
The west side?
What side is usually cloudy and gloomy?
Dora the bee answered next.
The north side.
Which side has the overall nicest leaves to lounge around on, and where we are having class now?
Before Betty the butterfly could answer the question, Marwin the spider yelled out the answer.
The south side.
After asking these few simple questions, Mr. Frogger, who is always happy, even in the worst of times, put on a serious face and asked the students the question that would lead to today's discussion.
Now, class, which side is dark, scary, full of mysterious sounds and creatures that have yet to be identified?
Before anyone else could answer, Betty the butterfly, who is normally very shy and quiet, yelled out the answer since she couldn't answer the last time.
The east side. Am I right? I mean, that's the only direction left.
As Betty started to blush, Mr. Frogger couldn't help but smile at her enthusiasm.
That's correct, Betty. Today, class, we will be talking about the east side. This is the part of the park that no one, not even us adults, are allowed to go to. It is very dangerous. Many insects have gone missing and have never been found.
Mr. Frogger started out by telling the class the history of the east side and explaining that there are 3 other parts of the park to go to, so there would be no reason to ever walk towards the east side or play near the east side entrance. After the class discussion, Mr. Frogger asked the students if they had any questions.
Does anyone have any questions about the east side history, dangers, or anything that you still do not understand?
Marwin the spider, a very confident individual, raised one of his legs high.
Yes, Marwin?
I know you said we can't go there and that we can get very hurt or lost or whatever, but what happens if we go there anyways?
Every year, Mr. Frogger has a student who tries to go to the east side. This year, he knew it would be Marwin. Usually, Mr. Frogger could stop the other students, but this year, Mr. Frogger was worried Marwin would be the one to not listen to anything he had to say. He had to think of a way to make Marwin understand that going against what an adult says isn't always the right thing to do, especially when what the adult says is very important.
Marwin, you know all those stories your parents tell you before you go to bed? About the good guys and the bad guys? Well, Marwin, this is kind of the same thing. Those who don't go to the east side are the good guys, and those who go are the bad guys. Anytime the bad guys don't listen, the good guys have to punch them and take them to jail. Or sometimes the bad guys do bad things, get in a sticky situation, and need the good guys to save them. If you were to go to the east side, not only would you be putting yourself in a sticky situation where the good guy has to save you, but you will be punished. Your parents and myself are always trying to be the good guys by warning you about the bad things in the park. We want you and everyone else to be as safe as possible.
Marwin wasn't sure what to say. He still had it stuck in his mind that he could go to the east side and nothing bad would happen. Before Marwin could ask Mr. Frogger more questions, Mr. Frogger started to talk.
Okay, everyone, that will be all for today's discussion. I will let you all out early. Be safe and have a great rest of the day.
Class was dismissed. Dora, Francesca, Betty, and Marwin started to head to the west side so they could go play in the flower beds. As Dora and Francesca were talking, Marwin struck up a conversation with Betty about the east side.
We should go to the east side. It can't be that bad.
Betty stopped in her tracks. She was hoping Marwin was just kidding, but when she looked at his face, she could tell he was serious.
Marwin, didn't you hear Mr. Frogger? It's dangerous. Why do you want to go so bad?
Because we aren't supposed to. I don't like the rules. I want to do what I want, not what others want me to do.
But Marwin...
Before Betty could finish, Marwin stopped her.
No buts. I want to go.
Marwin, how many times does everyone have to tell you that it is dangerous for you to understand that?
Everyone can say it all they want, Betty. I made up my mind. Come with me or I'll go alone.
Betty was scared, but she knew if she didn't listen to Marwin, if she didn't listen, Marwin would go alone. She turned to Dora and Francesca and told told them to stop Marwin.
You guys, please help me. Stop him. Do something. This isn't right.
Marwin, I'm going to tell on you if you try to go.
Let's just play in the flowers. We can play hide and go seek, tag, and find shapes in the clouds while lying in the lilies.
Don't be a tattletale, Francesca and Dora. That's what we always do. I'm bored of that stuff. I want to do something fun.
Everyone was arguing, and no matter what they told Marwin, he wouldn't listen. He changed directions and started to head east. The girls didn't know what to do to stop him. Francesca left and flew away to get Mr. Frogger. As they got closer to the east side, the girls got more and more scared, while Marwin got more and more excited. Finally, they arrived at the entrance to the east side. Standing there, Marwin began to smile, Dora started to cry, and Betty the shy butterfly jumped in front of Marwin and started to yell at him.
Stop, Marwin. This is upsetting Dora. There is no need to go in there.
Marwin turned to Dora, stared at her for a while, and finally decided to say something.
Don't be a baby, Dora. For all we know, it's perfectly safe, and the adults are having a secret meeting or something.
And what if they aren't? You're just going to get hurt.
Then you don't need to come with me.
Marwin started to walk past the entrance to the east side. Although the girls were very scared, they still followed Marwin. They were worried about him getting hurt. Every step they took, they were breaking branches, stepping on leaves, and as Marwin took another step, suddenly he fell to the ground. He caught his leg in a vine and couldn't get out. While in pain, Marwin started to panic.
Girls, help me, help me. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Mr. Farmer was right. I should have listened. My leg hurts. I'm scared.
The girls tried to get Marwin out of the vine, but every time they tried, he would start to cry.
I have an idea. Dora, hand me that stick.
Dora gave Betty the stick, and Betty tried to saw the vine with the stick. It didn't work, so she started to look around for something else she could use. It was getting dark, and the darker it got, the more sounds the east side started to make. They were helpless. They didn't know what to do. Marwin was in pain. Dora started to cry again, and Betty was still trying to figure out what she could do to get Marwin free. As time started to pass, it wasn't only getting dark, but also cold. Marwin, Dora, and Betty squeezed as close together as they could to keep warm. Dora was the first to end the long silence between them.
They're never going to find us. We'll be here forever. I know we shouldn't have come. Where's Francesca? Where's Mr. Frogger? Where is help?
As Dora shouted for help, a shadowy figure at full speed was heading towards them. The girls wanted to run, but they couldn't leave Marwin. They all closed their eyes and started to scream at the top of their lungs. Then a familiar voice spoke gently.
It's me, children. Mr. Frogger. Be calm. I will help you out of here.
As Mr. Frogger was trying to untangle the vine, Betty started to speak.
Are you mad at us, Mr. Frogger?
I am upset, but I am just happy that Francesca got me and I found you all. Let's help Marwin and get out of here.
Mr. Frogger was able to get Marwin free, and as he did, Marwin wrapped himself around Mr. Frogger and couldn't help but say thank you over and over again. Dora stopped crying and also hugged Mr. Frogger. As everyone walked out of the east side, Francesca was standing there waiting for them. Dora and Betty gave hugs to Francesca. Both girls shouted Francesca and thank yous. Marwin, who was having a hard time walking, limped towards Francesca.
Thank you for helping me, Francesca. I don't know what would have happened to me if you didn't leave and get help. You are a wonderful friend.
It's okay, Marwin, but I hope you learned your lesson. I get that you don't like rules and you want to do things your way, but rules are what keep us safe. Mr. Frogger taught us our lesson today so that he could keep us safe.
I know, Francesca, but it sounded so exciting and I couldn't help myself.
Mr. Frogger hopped over. Marwin put his head down, thinking Mr. Frogger was about to yell at him, but something else happened instead.
You are young, Marwin. It's normal for you to want to explore and have lots of fun, especially with your friends. I was a child once, and I was just like you, adventurous, fun, outgoing, and I love to explore new places. But even when you are an adult, you are going to have rules you need to follow. We all care for you very much, Marwin. I will have to tell your parents what you did and allow them to come up with a punishment for you. As for school, you will be helping me clean up the classroom for the next month.
Marwin didn't mind getting punishments. He learned his lesson. He put his friends in danger and didn't listen to anyone, and if it wasn't for Francesca getting help, he wasn't sure what would have happened to him. Marwin learned that listening to others is not always a bad thing. Keeping his friends and himself safe is the best thing to do. Playing tag in the west side or catching water drops in your mouth in the north side may not always be fun, but as long as you have your friends, you can make it a lot more You can make it a lot more fun than dangerous. Mr. Frogger walked the children back to the south side and took each of them home. With everyone safe, Mr. Frogger was able to go home himself and prepare for tomorrow's discussion.